In this video, we're going to have a look at factorising into single brackets. We're going to look at a couple of exam questions. The first exam question is taken from CIE June 2017 paper. And we're being asked to factorise completely the expression 4x squared minus 8xy. Now, the first thing we need to do is to identify the common factors of the two terms that we've been given. So we've got two terms, 4x squared and 8xy. The easiest thing to do is to start with the numbers and then have a look at the variables. So the numbers 4 and 8, we're looking for the highest common factor of 4 and 8. So hopefully you can spot that the number 4 is the highest common factor. That means that we can divide both 4 and 8 by 4. I'm now going to look at the variables. These are the letter terms. So I've got x squared and I've got xy. So we can see in both of these terms there is an x. So I'm going to add this to my 4, and this forms my highest common factor of the two terms, 4x squared and 8xy. And it's actually going to be the term that sits on the outside of the brackets. Next, I'm going to find the two terms that are going to sit inside of the brackets. Now, the easiest way to think about this is I need to see what multiplies by 4x to give me 4x squared minus 8xy. So let's start with the 4x squared. 4x multiplied by something will equal 4x squared. In order to get my x squared, I need to multiply by another x. So in my bracket, I need to have an x. For my second term, I need to get minus 8xy. So I have already got the 4x. To get the 8, I need to multiply by 2. To get the minus, I need to have a negative. And to get the y term, I need to multiply by y. So in my second part of my bracket, I'm going to write the term minus 2y, because 4x times minus 2y gives me that term minus 8xy. So my final answer is 4x brackets x minus 2y. This next example comes from the CIE June 2018 paper. It might perhaps look a little bit easier to some of you, but there's still a tricky element to it. The first thing we're going to do is identify our common term. So I've got a w and a w cubed. So in this case, I've just got the common factor of w. Now I'm going to find the terms in the brackets. So I need to think w times by something is equal to w. Now this often throws people, but what you need to think about is in order to keep something the same, we multiply it by 1. So my first term in my bracket is going to be a 1. My next expression, I need to think what times w is going to give me w cubed. So in this case, I need to multiply w by w squared. So the second part in my bracket is going to be a w squared. If you think to yourself, w times w times w is w cubed. My final example is from the CIE June 2019 paper, and we are asked to factorise 2x squared minus x. So in this example, once again, we're going to find the common factor of the two terms. Now, if we start with the numbers, there's no common factor between 2 and 1 apart from 1, so we don't need to use 1. So let's just look at the variables. The common variable between x squared and x is a single x. So that's going to be the term on the outside of my bracket. I'm now going to look at what's inside my bracket. So x multiplied by something is going to give me 2x squared. So in this case, I need a 2 and another x. So the first term in my bracket is going to be 2x. For my second term, I need to know x times something is going to give me a negative x. We've got that negative sat there. So in this case, I need to multiply by -1 to give me that negative. So my final answer is x bracket 2x minus 1.